Hello. I just came out of a really deep meditation and I was asked to share information about the higher self with everybody. I got a little ping earlier in the day, wrote a note, forgot about it, classic ADHD, and they reminded me in meditation. So I'm going to share with you guys about our higher self because so many people are so confused about what emotions coming from where and how do you listen to the higher self. And I hear people say things like my higher self was speaking to me in my thoughts and things like that. So we're going to clear a bunch of stuff up, okay? So this is Higher Self 101. You have checked into your university. Here we go. Are you ready? Your higher self, aka your oversoul. When we are on the ethereal, we're going to back up, rewind a little bit. When you're on the ethereal, before you even incarnate and you're in your non-physical state, we essentially look like orbs, light orbs. Like that's essentially what we look like. The best way that I can possibly explain from this perspective what we look like, these light orbs. Because we are energy. That's what we are. We are energy. And when we decide to incarnate literally anywhere, but we're just going to talk about Earth for right now. When we decide to incarnate, we concentrate down about 1 to 2% of that soul, and we pick these different like fibers, these different threads, and we concentrate them down into one little point, one little dot within that orb of our soul. Okay, so it's all the way down, and then that little dot is dense and it's a physical incarnation. Okay, so you are experiencing your entire world, your entire universe, this earth, you're experiencing it inside of your own consciousness. You're literally still inside of your soul. So when we say things like, oh, we go back to the ethereal, that's all and well, except it's not accurate. So if you're wanting to be more accurate with it, we don't ever go back because we've never actually left. What we do is we expand back out to our fullness. That's what we do. We expand back out. That's all we're doing. We don't like leave anywhere. So our soul, oversoul, higher self, same thing, chooses 1 to 2% of our own soul to incarnate down. That's our personality traits, our wants, our desires, things like that. Okay, so we're concentrating it down. Energy shifts. Oh my god, I asked my guides to help me make this video so I didn't forget anything, and then plop, here they go. I like how you got to see that in real time. When we concentrate down that little dot, that's like everything about who we are. So for me, for my soul, I know myself as Sam, right? If I knew nothing else about my higher self, I wouldn't know my whole self. I only know Sam, the little dot that's inside that's been concentrated down. You are so much more than who you realize you are. You are an infinite being, first of all. You're an eternal being also, but you are not just these personality traits, these desires. That is just 1 to 2% of all that you are, right? It's amazing. So our higher self has an agreement with us to communicate while we're incarnated, to communicate through emotion. Just emotion, nothing else. The higher self isn't communicating through thoughts. I know that feels a little confusing. I'll get to that in a second. The higher self isn't communicating through thoughts because we're having our own thoughts, and like that would get so confusing and lost in the shuffle. So we're also having some thoughts from our guides and all this stuff. So it's its own separate thing. It's emotion. This is different than like clair empathy and things like that. It's just emotion. So when you are having a thought, or experiencing something, or watching something, or anything, literally doing any experience in this world, and you have an emotion that's anywhere on the spectrum of good, like all the way from yeah, okay, I can get down with that, all the way to holy crap, that's the best thing that's ever happened to me my whole life, anywhere on that spectrum, that is your higher self going, yes, babes, this is for us. We are in alignment with this thing that you are focused on, okay? That also works for the negative side. So if you are feeling anywhere on the spectrum of bad, all the way from, I don't know about that, all the way to absolutely not, hard stop, anywhere on that spectrum of negative emotion, that's your higher self going, no, that is not an alignment for us. Notice it's not saying it's bad. It's not saying it's bad. It's not saying it's evil. This is not in alignment with us, right? And really just at this time. It could be in alignment with you later, but at that moment, it's not in alignment with you. So You can use your higher self. It's like an emotional guidance system. It's an emotional GPS to navigate how to stay in alignment in your life. How cool is that? All you have to do is pay attention to how you feel. Are you kidding me? That's all you got to do to know you're in alignment with your higher self. I love this for us. So your guides will tap in through more external things, and also your clairs, like your psychic abilities. Your guides can use those and tap in. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I'm not even tired. It's the shifts, it's the downloads. Sometimes it comes in burps. And sometimes it's yawns. It's just that excess energy transmutation of the big plop downloads that I'm getting. Okay, it's a very common thing to happen. So, your higher self is trying to help you realize, as you're in this incarnation and you have the veil, right, of forgetfulness, it's trying to help you realize how to stay in alignment. Now, your guides are helping you too, of course, and answering more complex things. But as long as you are following your joy, following your excitement, listening to things that feel good as you do them emotionally, you will always be in alignment. Now, if you're doing something and in the middle of it, you realize, oh my God, this doesn't feel right, then you can either stop doing that thing or change it to a way that does feel right. So you can remain in alignment, right? That's all you have to do. If you are trying to figure out what job to take, if you have job offers or a job to apply for, you can use your emotional guidance system to pick the job that's in alignment for you. Hello, you just close your eyes and you think about that job. You think about what it would be like to have that job, experience that job, go to that job, be at that job, etc. Notice how you feel. Then take a couple of deep breaths, clear the energy, and try the next one and notice how you feel. If multiple feel good, then find the one that feels the most good, and that's the one that's in the most alignment with you at this time. That's all that means. It doesn't mean permanently forever. It just means at this time it feels good, right? And you can continue to do that thing until you realize, oh my goodness, it doesn't feel so great anymore. Now we're not in alignment with it anymore. Now we have to do little shifties, right? That's it. Okay. So that's your higher self. Your higher self is your soul. And just remember that you as a being, a conscious being, know only 1 to 2% of who you actually are, unless you are tapped into that higher energy and you can learn about your soul. But essentially, your soul, like who the rest of you are as a soul, is not usually super vital to incarnations. It's fun to learn about it. It's really great. You can definitely understand yourself, but it's not like you have to know these things in order to have like a successful incarnation. And by the way, my guides are telling me right now live with you that a successful incarnation is just one in which you've learned, in which you've grown. That's all that means, right? And sometimes to learn and grow, we have to screw up a whole bunch, because sometimes that's how we learn the best. So it's not about how much you messed up or how bad you did or the things that happened to you. It's how you respond to them. That's all that matters, right? How you respond to them, how you've learn from situations, how you have learned to shift your energy if you are in the middle of something you don't prefer. That's it. It's just about learning, having experiences, and following your freaking joy. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be happy. That's your natural state of being. You did not experience this incarnation to suffer the whole time. Now, we did choose, some of us did choose very difficult circumstances in which we could learn, but that does not mean that we had intended to perpetuate that circumstance for the rest of our life, right? So remove yourself from the things that don't feel good, heal those shadows, shift those limiting beliefs, and babe, let's continue to raise the vibration together on this planet so we can get out of this messy energy that's happening and move forward, okay? Let me know what questions you guys have. Love ya.